Good evening, everyone. Myself, Rahul Mange, and I'm currently serving as the 67th year Zonal President of Zone 3. Along with me in the session, we also have Zonal President Zone 2, Maz Multani, and our trophies at Tanuja Sunkara for the 67th year would be shortly. So we are back again with the another session for Winners Way. To give a gist about the session, Winners Way is a series and an initiative that invites students from institutions that secured citations and did a notable work in trophies in the previous years to present their project. During these sessions, presenters showcase their work and engage in a Q&A segment with the audience. So we really hope this session engages student present here and give them a direction to move ahead with the trophy. So over to you, Maz. Maz would be explaining about this year's LIK brief.
Hello, all. Good evening. My name is Maz Multani. I'm currently serving as the Zonal President of Zone 2, NASA India. If we talk about this year's brief for LIK, we are focusing on the structures which are almost more than 1,000 square meters. And the most important part of the LIK brief this year is this: we have to select a structure which is from the pre-independence time. And the motive why I like a trophy is being into consideration is students nowadays are not really understanding the essence of old structures, the sense of heritage, and the reality of structures that were built quite before. Way back, architects was someone who who kept their heart and souls into a structure, and they tried to build something that was unique, that was architectural, that has an elemental value, that had some essence in it. So LIK is a trophy in which we, as a NASA India, is expecting something from students, in which students try to engage themselves in documenting the structures, and they try to understand the essence of that particular structure. So the trophy is not actually about just documenting the site, but also it is about how students understand the structure, how deeply students get connected to the structure, how they try to understand the elements of the structure, and so on. So this year we have the LIK brief released, and we're expecting a way better entries from the students this year. Winners Way is something in which a particular unit who has done exceptional work in their like a trophy in a year would share their views on how did they try to document the structure, and how did they went into processing the entire trophy, so that the students that are not aware of actually how the documentation is done, or that are not aware about the trophy, can gain something out of it. And this year we have Renderpub as our partner with us. So we are also having a Renderpub workshop during this session. On to Rahul.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mars. So now in the session, we have 66th year citation winners from Z214. So you guys can introduce yourself and we can then start with the session.
Hello everyone, I am Sresht and currently I am serving as the Unit Secretary of 67th year.
Hello everyone, my name is Vishwajit C. Gohil and I am currently serving as a unit designee in Z214.
Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Sharma and I am currently serving as a Unit Treasurer of Z214.
Okay, so I assume that the entire team of LIK 66 year LIK is present here, and the core team members, namely Karnik Parekh, Nidhi Saparia, Reem Soni, Nafisa, Karthik, Kishan, Himanshu, Manan Desai, Radhika, would be here on board to share their experiences for the Like a Trophy. So, Rahul, I think we can go on with the question answers now.
Yes, yes. The winners can present their screen and they can start with explaining the whole process.
Good evening, everyone. As soon as we received the brief, our team embarked on a thorough analysis, carefully interpreting each detail and requirement of the brief spirit, with every team member contributing contributions to ensure a comprehensive understanding of the brief. We began the search for the site which would best align with the objectives of the 66th LIK. Our search led us to the Marham Sheikh Kammu Jafar Suleiman Musafir Khana. This site stood out due to its historical significance and suitability for the project. Next, please. This Musafir Khana is located in Mandvi, Kutch, and on the banks of the Rukmavati River. The Musafir Khana is a historic building with significant cultural and architectural value. All the data presented in our sheets has been collected on site. The elderly people were really helpful in giving us information about the Musafir Khana, about its history, about how it's related to King Karji III, the king of Kutch, and how this Musafir Khana has helped in the development of the Mandvi. The Musafir Khan the Musafir Khana is built in 1882 by the Memon community and is now partially abandoned but is still managed by the Memon Jamaat Trust of Mandvi. Next.
Coming to the next part, that is documentation. The sheets includes all the major and minor details of the structure. Scale of the drawings were finalized, keeping the maximum visibility in the mind. Also, line weights was the main focus, which enhances the readability of our drawings. Instead, the composition focus on relating the plans with the part sections. Next. These were the upper floor plans, which were also connected with the part sections of the front facade. Next, please. We used different hatches to show each and every material used in the structure. Also, we showed in depth all the roof structures in the roof plan. Next. Coming to the elevation, we used the line weights which were suitable to showcase the depth of each and every space in the facade. Onto the above section, one spaces which make the drawings visible. Next, please. Next.
To provide a better understanding of the structure, we use 3D representation of details and elements so that the viewer get good visualization. The second thing that we used in our documentation sheet is that to try develop a better connectivity between drawings. Next, please. With the help of an isometric section, we able to give information about masonry, slab, and roof details. Next, please. Sheet number 11 showcase the volumetric representation to show the level difference of internal spaces and also behavior of our structure with its context. Next, please. In this sheet, we describe the material palette and craftsmanship of our structure and also provide the information about construction stages. And in the condition mapping part, we calculate the total area and damage on the particular element and also provide the treatment. Next.
As outlined in the brief, our approach to the conservation proposal is straightforward and practical. We have proposed simple yet efficient techniques for the conservation process, focusing on repairing and replacing damaged elements such as balusters and mangrove tiles on the roof. Next. Additionally, we have recommended the small-scale chemical interventions, including epoxy pressure grouting to address specific issues. Our proposal is based on thorough on-site structural analysis with detailed sketches illustrating the damaged areas that require conservation work. The use of on-site sketches and photography has been crucial in documenting and presenting their issues efficiently. Next.
Yeah, the proposed design intervention. First, we did climate analysis and then sun path, that morning, evening, and afternoon shadow analysis, and then we did analysis of demographic, that we came to conclusion that women falls in minority in terms of literacy and sex ratio. That in this demographics we did a macro to micro level analysis, and then we formulate our program. And according to this program, we keep in mind that every user should feel the new purpose, but in that old context. So that's how we formulate the program, and then accordingly we formulate our design features, and then we formulate the program area program, and that's how we formulate our program. Yeah, next.
Sorry to cut Manan, but your voice is not audible.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, you're audible. Yeah, so let's come to the design plan. So the our design consists of multiple elements and multiple functions. So the primary functions was to provide shelter, and it was provided on the first floor, and the ground floor consisted of multiple elements like museums, cafes, souvenir shops, and workshops, etc. And the main central courtyard was used for the gathering space and interactive space to make the space charming and usable. Next, these are the some perspective sections you can see for our designs, and the main motto was to add the universal accessibility, which we added through ramps and hydraulic lift. Next.
These are the graphs which showcase the on-site work which we have done. We've made on-site sketches, we've done on-site photography, and we've worked on graphs. These are the on-site photographies that we've done.
Okay, thank you for presenting.
All right. Thank you so much for presenting. So let's start from the very beginning. Once you got the brief, once the brief for LIK was released last year, what was the process that you guys went through? How did you decode it, the brief? Is there any particular process that you guys go through?
So when the brief was released, we first go through the whole brief and what was the theme for that year. So as the theme was assemblage, we tried to look for something that was common in that, and the points were pretty much state. We have to find a structure which was undocumented before, and so that was how we decoded it.
I think we have a question from audience. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Mostly, if we see that if a unit is doing the if a unit is doing the entry, there's a particular structure they follow to divide the people into the groups, or let's say they divide the people into teams. So, what is the process of your college or your unit in which you divide students in a particular trophy team, or let's say a
So,
particular batch of people who does the trophy?
talking about our unit, we have a legacy of LIK where the second year students do the LIK trophy, and it is mainly monitored by the third year students to check whether we are going in the right direction or not. So from past many years, the LIK is done by second year students only.
Okay, so we got a question from one of our audience. Could you please explain why there are more technical drawings than handmade sketches on the sheets?
The reason we have put more technical drawings in the sheet is we could get to understand the structure more in a line weight manner if we put line weights and if we provide the drawings into the sheets rather than showcasing the sketches. We have also put the sketches in the sheets which are very to the back side, like sheet number 19 and 18. So we have put both sketches and technical drawings.
Okay. What is the process of your research? Where do you look for potential sites?
So as previously we have to find a site which was undocumented. So this was a site which was located near my house only in Kutch. So I was aware of this site, and as it was not listed in the in tech site, we chose to document this.
Okay. How big was the area for this structure and how long did you all take to document on site?
Uh, it was around 1,000 square meter or something, and we took around more than a week or something for that to document this.
Okay, so it took a week, more than a week to measure that particular structure.
Yeah, including everything, measuring, sketching.
A question from my end. What are the key takeaways that you would suggest the audience while going for a documentation? Like, do you guys have a certain process of documentation, and do you have some key pointers that that when you reach on the site that you make sure that this is something which has to be done? Any key
Yeah,
pointers or something?
I guess whenever documenting a site, make sure to document each and every uh, inch of it so that you don't have to come back and measure it again, as the site may be far away from that.
Hello, guys.
Actually.
Hello,
Hi.
welcome.
Yeah.
And I think the presentation is already done. Good to see Z214 here on board, explaining us about how they won a LIK trophy last year. So I'm sure a few questions are already answered. So I have few questions too for you guys. So can you break to us right from the release of the trophy till the submission, if you can precisely explain to us what is the exact process, how do you plan and schedule everything that is required for the brief that has been asked?
So uh, the whole structure of the trophy is such that first we decode the brief, and once the site is finalized, we visit and document it, and simultaneously also work on the sheets. And once the Once we get the documentation done, we paste whatever we have documented to the sheets and get the drawings done.
So you concentrate on the presentation part parallelly with whatever other requirements. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you explain how exactly your documentation process begins? Finding the structure, of course, you given few hints about it. Then post that, going to the structure on the day of site study.
So when we go to the structure, we use graph paper and measure tapes and other documentation tools and document the structure, like measuring the pillars, columns, and what is the distance of it and how what is the lintel level, plinth level, and that all.
Okay. Since you mentioned basically the second years are the core people who work on the trophy, and then third years monitor it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, since few people are already here, could you tell us your perspective, people who were second year last year, working on the
So
trophy in the second year? Shesh, not
so
you, but else.
okay.
Anyone from the unit other than the USEC.
We had worked with our seniors for the 65th LIK, and that was our biggest motivation to participate in this LIK trophy. Seeing their dedication and hard work, we were really motivated from them.
Okay, so since you're in second year, I'm sure most of the subjects wouldn't have been covered because LIK again is a very documentation specific trophy. So, as second years, I would like to know your perspective because many units, the second years are not very core into the trophy. I'm sure few people would agree. So, how is it different that this unit is doing? Maybe Shresh, you can go ahead.
Actually, most of the things we have learned are learned from our seniors only. They have taught us how to document and majorly what we have to do, and also the site visits conducted by our institutes for the study tours that we do. That has also helped us a lot in this.
So it's basically every year. So it's been done every year. So things fall on track that way, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So there's a question. We'll take that. How are the various processes of documentation and composition and measurements and sketches, etc., coordinated?
So we have different students who have different USPs. Some are good at sketching, some are good at drawings, drafting. So according to the USPs, the work is divided in such a way.
Okay. Did we take the question above? How big was the area for the structure and how long did you all take to document on site?
Yeah, already answered that.
Okay, done that. So, so what is your motivation every year to participate in LIK? I'm sure you registered this year as well.
Yeah, we have registered and the motivation is same that was the previous year,
Good to hear.
bidding for the LIK.
Good to hear. So we'll take a
The main
question.
purpose,
Yeah,
the main
yeah.
purpose is not winning, but to learn from the documentation that we do, how the structures were made.
Definitely. I think even this year there is a lot, strong emphasis with respect to trophies in general that it should not be for winning. Coming from you guys, it makes even more sense now. We'll take one last question. What if someone forgets to measure something on the site and that site is far from us or unable to reach there again? Interesting.
We have to send someone again there or have someone to go and document it again.
There's one more. Roughly, how much time do you take to look for a site after brief release?
Uh, until we don't get a site which looks potential enough to document.
How do you find the potential site?
The site which is most unique and worth enough to document, which gives us pleasure to document.
Okay. So basically, how many site visits do you do before confirming or making sure that this is the site that we are going to work on now? Any rough idea?
Mm, like we send sets of people to different sites, and so majorly around 5 to 6 sites we look into, and after that we finalize roughly.
Got it. It's a true unit level trophy then that you guys are doing. Okay. Maz, Rahul, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I do. So when working on a trophy as a team, as a unit, or whatever, if an individual also is working on a trophy, what are the three most important things you would suggest to an individual while working in a collaborative manner?
Uh, I guess time management, coordination, and the quality of work are the three major aspects you should look into while working in the team.
Great. Also, what is your opinion on this year's brief?
It, it looks pretty much straightforward, but there is so many things deeply rooted into it.
Okay, so for this question, opinion on the brief, I would like to ask the current second year students.
I think they're all previous year people, so they'll be in third and fourth year right now, no?
No, no, they have three participants who are currently in second.
Oh, lovely.
Hello, I'm Karthik Saraf. I'm currently in second year and working on the LIK. So yeah, the brief was really interesting. It got too many ideas of originality, and we are trying to cover it all up and looking at great elements and story in the structure this time. It's fun.
Great. Anyone else? Okay, then. Rahul, do you have any more questions or Mars?
No, it's
Rahul,
really
like,
exciting to see such enthusiastic students participating trophy.
yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. We now understand, or people better understand how to approach like a trophy coming from you guys. So, and it's really great to have you, engage your second years directly, head on for the trophy, and then third year's monitoring. It's quite different in certain units. So I was very interested how, I wanted to know how this happens, but I think it's more of a legacy that has been set in your unit that is being followed, which is way more easy and convenient. But I think even other units should take this as a lesson, maybe plan stuff better because LIK is going to come every year. So that 214 seems quite well planned for over the years now. There are a few questions, I guess. We'll take these last three and then I think we can end up. Works? How did you decode the brief given to the point?
Decoding the brief includes reading each and every line and understanding what every line means. So, like we all sat together, read each and every lines. Everyone was giving their opinions, and that's how we decoded the brief.
But there's one more. What softwares did you use for the 3D model?
We used Revit for making the 3D model.
Okay. What measures should be taken while taking a site?
The measures for taking the site, I guess, are given in the brief itself. So you need to decode the brief in a better way to get the unique perspectives of taking a site.
Got it. So Radhika says brief is the gospel truth. Just follow that.
Yes.
Got it. Okay then. So I think we'll start with the workshop in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so I would ask participants to kindly be in the meeting. We'll be starting with the Renderpub workshop in a short time.
Okay, we have our collaborators on board. So I think we can begin with the meeting right now. Over to you, Rohan and Chaitra. Please take it ahead.
Hi, Tanuja. Thanks for having us. And first of all, congratulations to all the winners. Do we have the winners here, or have
So
they?
these are the previous year LIK Trophy winners. So they're here to share their experience and what is the whole process of winning. That's how.
Fantastic, awesome. So I assume it's Karthik, Radhika, Vishwajit. These are the winners.
Yeah, there are a few couple. This is a unit
Great.
trophy, so few students from the college are here who participated in last year. There's a couple of people here.
Fantastic. Congratulations again, guys. Right. So we have the rest of the participants are the ones that will be participating this year, and they're in their third years, if I heard that correctly. Is that right, Tanuja?
Yes, so that unit specifically has a certain way for how they participate in trophies, but it'll again differ from unit to unit.
Got it. Right.
It's centered to their college for now.
Awesome. Fantastic. So what we'll do, guys, is we'll get started with the workshop. So this year for the LIK Trophy, like you guys must have been briefed already, we'll be supporting all of the participants to create 3D visualizations, both interactive visualizations and static images and videos as well. Okay, so we are the developers of the software. It's called Renderpub Studio. For those of you who are not aware, we will be showcasing what the software looks like and so on. So can I start with a very quick video of what the software is going to be like?
Yes, please go ahead.
Awesome. Let me do that. Just give me 1 second here, guys. Yes, sharing this video here. Let me know once you're able to see my screen, okay?
Yeah, we're able to.
Okay.
Rohan, then you can take it over from now on. We'll be there.
Great, thanks a lot.
Designers can choose from a library of immersive 3D visualization.
Is the audio also visible, guys? Or audible, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the audio is there. It's audio.
Immersive 3D visualizations of architectural projects have always been notoriously difficult to create, often taking weeks of design and development effort. Renderpub changes all that with its generative AI powered 3D design platform. Imagine describing 3D designs with text prompts and instantly turning them into stunningly photorealistic visualizations. A process that would take weeks of manual artistic effort reduced to a few minutes. Limited only by their imagination, designers can now generate any number of variations with simple text prompts to inform decision-making at the earliest stages of a project. With Renderpub, designers can extract these AI-generated visuals into fully editable 3D scenes, allowing for customization of lighting, materials, and objects to create highly detailed and photorealistic 3D environments. But that's not all. Designers can choose from a library of pre-built materials and use the advanced material editing capabilities to have finer control over textures, colors, blending, etc. to achieve virtually any kind of look and feel. Our platform also has a vast library of render-ready 3D objects to find that perfect piece of furniture or interior decor to complete a space. These objects can be placed one at a time or in parametrically scattered groups to quickly fill up large areas, like creating lush foliage around a building, for example. For rich outdoor environments, designers can use the dynamic sky system with realistic time of day simulations, cloudiness, and even night sky settings like starriness and auroras to recreate natural skylight conditions from anywhere in the world. Once the design is complete, with a single click, the scene transforms into an immersive multiplayer experience that can be shared privately or deployed at scale. Renderpub is not just a tool. It is a paradigm shift in the creative process. Say goodbye to tedious hours of manual design and welcome the era of instant, boundless imagination.
So that was an overview. That was a teaser of the software, guys. And what we'll be doing through NASA is you'll all have access to the software. And this will be the first session of the workshop. We'll take you through how to use it, how you can download it. And what we'll do in this session is we'll create a rather simple scene. And just to get you familiar with the interface and how you can navigate and move around in the software. Okay. I believe we have a few more workshops as well that will be ongoing through the duration of this competition. Okay, so this is where it starts, guys. So what I'll do is let me just share my screen here with you. So this is the interface of the software, and this is how it starts out essentially. Okay, what I'll also do is I'll show you how to get started, how to install the software. You go to renderpub.com, and then you go into you go to the download, and then you simply click on just download it from here, or you can click the download here. You don't have to subscribe to the pro version. What you do is you download the community version or just the launcher from over here. And then once you have downloaded and once you have logged in, you let us know. We will create some sort of a forum, perhaps maybe a WhatsApp group or a Discord channel, maybe a Slack channel. Whatever we decide to do, you'll have access to these channels. You can just drop in your emails, okay? The email that you used while you create an account on the Renderpub platform. And then once you do that, we'll upgrade your accounts to the pro version for free. Okay, so you don't have to pay for it. It'll be you'll have the pro version for free. Let me know in the comments if you're not following along, or if you want me to go over anything for a second time. Okay, so you go to renderpub.com, download, and then you either download the community version or you download it right from up top over here. Okay. We'll go back into the 3D interface for the software. Okay, so what you'll do is, in order to navigate, you hold down the right click and you use the WASD keys to move around. Okay, so if you go into the help and you look at the navigation controls, it'll tell you how to navigate in this 3D environment. So basically it's saying you hold down the right mouse button and you use W, A, S, and D to go front, left, right, and back. Q and E, you use Q to move downwards and E to move vertically upwards. I'm holding down E now, we're moving vertically upwards, and Q to move downwards. Okay, so that's how you navigate. We'll start out with importing a 3D model, and then what we're trying to achieve in this session is, let me quickly show you the end result of what we're trying to get at. So this is the 3D model we'll be importing, and we'll be creating a render very similar to this. Okay. We have Prithvi here. Prithvi will be taking over the workshop. I'll be here as well. Let's jump right into it, guys.
Hello, guys.
So we start out with clicking the file menu and the import option. We click on file and you click on import. It lets you import a wide range of 3D file formats. It could be FBX, OBJ, 3ds, DAE, etc. Okay. So in this case, we have an FBX. It's called tropicalhouse1.fbx. We'll click on it, click open, and click the import button here. Okay. Now it says importing. We wait maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds. We wait for the model to import. This model was created in SketchUp, I believe, but you can create it in 3ds Max. You can have it from Revit. It could be from anywhere, literally. Okay. So we've just assigned random colors to the different materials that we wish to be applying to this model. There's no textures really. Let's just go into this model, Prithvi, and show them what it looks like when they bring it in. So this is the pool area that was shown in the render, and then it's like this central courtyard or pool that we'll be making, and then there's a few interior spaces here. It's not very well lit up currently. We'll be doing the lighting as well. Okay, so let's get started. Sure. The way to apply a material would be to select a surface, and then we have the library on the right top corner that you'll see there. You go into the library, you have a lot of different categories at the top. Okay, so the first one is the materials category. The second is the objects category. The third is the lights. You have the foliage or trees and shrubs and so on. And you have some decals and a few special effects. Special effects are things like fire, smoke, etc. Okay, we'll go into the materials category. Inside the material category, you have a lot of different types of materials that you can apply into your scene. Okay, you click each one of these, it opens up a sub menu. So let's just go into the bricks category here, and you'll see that there are about 126 bricks in this category. Okay, so these are all render ready assets that you can drag and drop into your scenes. Yeah. The blue surface that you see in the center here, we're going to be applying a water shader to it. So we go all the way down water shader or the water material, and then we click apply. Okay, you click on the material and then you click on the surface in order to apply it. As soon as we apply it, the water isn't looking great. It looks like, you know, perhaps it's too deep or it's too dark. We can just click on the water surface and we can fine tune a bunch of its properties. Okay, so when you click on a surface, its properties panel opens up. You can change its material properties from the first tab. We go into the physical properties, and let's see what can be changed. First of all, the opacity. It's too opaque, so we make it 0.6 from what was 0.9 before. And the surface tint. Okay, so you will notice that it's too dark. What we do is we make it much lighter. Now what happens is when we apply the pool tiles to the under surface of this water pit here, you'll notice that it'll look much better. So if we go under the water currently, You'll notice here we have this tiled flooring. We've not applied a material to this yet, but let's go ahead and do that. We'll go all the way to the bottom here. We'll find the swimming pool tiles and apply it there, okay? Let's just increase the brightness of it slightly.
We'll change the lighting, then we can see it much better. I'll change it to HDR, right?
Yeah. So we'll show you how to change the sky settings, okay? So while you're here, on the left side, you have all of your tools, okay? So if you go right at the top, you have the selection tool, the measure tool, 3D text, section planes, terrain, scatter tools, and there you have the sky system. So you click on the sky system. There are two types of skies that you can have in your scene. You can either have an HDRI, which is an image-based sort of sky system. So if you see here, this entire backdrop is simply a 360 image projected onto the backdrop, okay? Alternatively, you can have the dynamic sky system, in which case you'll be able to control all aspects of your sky, like time of day, the cloudiness, the cloud coverage, and so on. Okay, there's a lot of settings that you can play with. For this scene, what we'll do is we're going to switch to an HDRI sky, and the HDRI image here can be selected. There's the software has a library of these HDRI images that you can use. We're just going to use this one over here. But you can use any HDRI that you like. You can also import your own HDRI, okay? So what we've done is we have imported, or we have applied an HDRI from the library in this case. There's things like skylight intensity, intensity of your HDRI image, and so on that we can change as well. So if you increase the HDRI intensity, you'll notice that the sky backdrop, it gets exposed a lot, versus if you drag down that slider, you'll make it much dimmer. Okay? We're just going to keep it at 4 for this. Let's continue with applying materials to the rest of the scene here. Now you'll notice that the moment we applied this material here, it's not tiled correctly, or the material is not scaled correctly. Okay, sometimes when you export your 3D models out of your 3D modeling software, there's these things called UVs that sometimes might not be set properly. So then what happens is that your textures also get scaled down. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll click on that material. And in the properties, we go to the transform properties for this texture. And here you'll find scale and translate and rotate and so on. So what we'll do is we'll set the scale to 0.1 and 0.1. Okay. Now you might think that setting it to 0.1 should make it smaller, but it so happens that scale is actually a tiling parameter. Okay. So the lesser the tiling, the bigger your texture looks. So it's sort of inverted. Just something to keep in mind. Okay. Now, all of these are PMAP materials. That means that you have all of the texture maps that you need along with this material, okay? So if you want to visualize the texture maps or switch it out for something else, you just go into this texture preview icon here for your materials, and it'll show you all of the different texture maps that are used in this material, okay? So there's the albedo map, normal, roughness, metallic, ambient occlusion, the specular map, and so on and so forth. You can bring in your own textures as well. As we go along, maybe for one of these textures, what we'll do is we'll bring in our own texture as well, so that you'll get a feeling for how you can create your own materials, okay? The next thing that I want to talk about is the material sampler or the material picker, okay? So if you have a bunch of different materials or mesh parts in your model, and you want to copy over your material, right? So we've applied that sort of darkish slate material to that floor, right? What we want to do is we want to copy that material over to this without having to set up all of its properties again, right? So we click on the target surface that we want to apply it to. Then we use this eye picker tool here, or the eyedropper tool, we use it, and then just click on the target material that we want to copy over, okay? And there it just copies it over. The one thing again that you'll have to take care of is the scale, because the scale is going to be dependent on the model and not on the texture itself, okay? We're going to do the same a little bit for a few more surfaces on this 3D model. Here what we'll do is you'll notice that this wooden texture that we've applied, or the wooden material, is a little too shiny for an outdoor surface. What we'll do is we'll quickly change its roughness. Increasing the roughness reduces the amount of shine, okay? So let's make roughness, scale it all the way down. So there you have a very shiny surface, and the moment you increase the roughness slider, it becomes more and more matte, okay? So we'll keep it right there, that is sufficient. All of these green surfaces that you see here across the model, we have a couple here. Let's just look around in the scene. There's a bunch of other green surfaces as well, right? So what we'll do is we'll apply the glass material to these green surfaces, okay? So if we apply the glass material to one of these surfaces, your model is going to be grouped by material. So what will happen is all the green surfaces are going to turn glass, okay? So the way to do that is you click on that material, and you come into your properties panel, and over here, if you see this material type drop down, it says it's default, right? You click it, a drop down opens up, and you can choose between different types of materials, okay? You want to set it to be a fabric or a glass. You don't want to go into baked. We're not going to talk about what that is now, but we'll just apply glass here. Let's see what happens. So it gives you a glass. Off the bat, it doesn't look great. Once again, what we'll do is we'll just set the color of our glass back to white. We'll decrease the roughness of the glass so that it doesn't look like it is frozen glass. Okay, so if you want to make it look frozen, you will just increase the roughness of that glass and get a frozen glass effect. We can also reduce the opacity slightly of this glass, perhaps. It's at 0.4. Okay, great. Okay, so the next material that we'll be applying is going to be a metal. So in order to make something metallic, there's nothing special that you need to do except turn up the metallic slider. Okay. Once you turn up the metallic slider, you just reduce the roughness again so that it starts looking shiny and glossy. Okay. So there we have that. Let's yeah. Okay, what we'll do next is we'll use the scatter tool to add a little bit of foliage. Okay, so if you go back slightly. Yeah. So what we'll do is, you see this green patch here, right? So what we want to do is fill it with a bit of grass or some shrubs, perhaps. So what we'll do is we'll start with applying a material to it. This is the grass material. Let's also increase the brightness of this material. Okay. So, but this is just a texture, okay? And this is not really 3D grass. What we can do is we can also paint some 3D grass onto this. In order to do that, we go into the scatter tools. And let's use the line scatter. Okay, we'll use the spline scatter. Okay, so there's three modes of scattering. One is the paint scatter, which will give you a brush that you can paint your meshes on. Second is the spline scatter. You can draw out a path, and along that path you will get your meshes to spawn. And the third one is an area scatter. Okay, so you define an arbitrary area. You define it by placing points and closing off an area. Okay. For this purpose, we'll be using the spline scatter. We'll show you how to use it. You add a new layer first of all. Okay. What a layer is you can add up to 6 meshes in a layer. Okay. And when you use the spline scatter, you're going to randomly select from these 6 different meshes and spawn it onto your scene. Let's just show them an example here. So what we'll do is we'll go into the library and we'll select trees, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's select a small plant here. Okay, this is a cedar Japanese dwarf, it says. Okay, so we select that. Let's select another small plant, Prithvi. Maybe the flowers. Do we have the flowers?
Select something.
Okay. Let's just type dwarf in the search bar. Okay.
I'll just take one.
We'll just do it. Yeah, just take a seedling or something. Yeah. So we've chosen 2 different meshes over here, and what we'll do is we will let's draw it first. We select the first point where we want it to start placing these objects, and then we move our camera all the way here, and we select the second point here. Okay. So once we do that, you'll notice that we have spawned a lot of these different trees. Okay. Now what we want to do is, let's click it. We want to scale down the number of these meshes, or what we can also do is for the second plant, let us reduce the size. The first one is fine. For the second one, okay, there we go. So what we did is we selected the mesh that was too big for our liking, and then we set the scale for it to 0.26. Okay, you can set it to any number. We've just made 0.26. Now, what we want to do is we don't want all of them to be scaled exactly the same, right? Because then they'll not look natural. It'll look very, it'll look too perfect, and that's not good to get a very natural looking scene. So what we do is we switch off uniform scale, and now we can set a minimum and a maximum scale. Okay, so we've set a minimum of 0.16 and a maximum of 0.26. Now, if you see, they're all randomly scaled between 0.16 and 0.26. Okay, we'll do the same for our other mesh as well. Let's select the other one, turn off uniform scaling. Okay. Great.
Random rotation.
Yeah. Let's also increase the brightness of these materials slightly. What we'll do is we're just going to increase its brightness slightly so that the material is more properly visible. Okay. So if you see now, we've created this sort of a planter box where we have all of these different plants. Okay. We can also increase the number of plants that we want to spawn over there. Let's reduce it down to 10. Okay, 20 or 10 gives you this, and let's just increase it all the way again, Prithvi. Let's make it 100. And 100 makes it much more dense and filled up. Okay. 60 is fine. Yeah. Great. Let's do the same here up front over here. We're going to, yeah. Now, you don't necessarily have to first create it and then set the scale. Even before creating it, using that, using these controls, you can set it up and then draw it so that you don't have to break out of your view and then go back to it later. Okay. Okay, let's add a few of those trees in those planted boxes over there. Yeah. So let's say we want to duplicate a single mesh, right? So we've placed this plant over here. We want to make a few copies of this. So what you can do is you can hold down the Alt button and press on one of those axes that you see along which you want to duplicate and move it. Okay, so we'll hold down the Alt and we'll click it and we'll move it. So that duplicates it quite easily, just like that. Okay. We'll add a few more on these boxes over here. So we just want to scale this down and give these objects different rotations so that they look sufficiently randomized. Okay. So we're setting the scale at around 0.3, and then we duplicate it along the red axis and then just drag it along. Okay. We give it a slight random rotation, duplicate it, and then just move it along on the red axis again. Okay, so we've not done up any of the interiors so far. It's just this exterior that we've worked with, and it's starting to come together already. Okay, if you guys have any suggestions in anything in particular that you want to see, if you have any questions, just feel free to drop a comment, and we'll respond to that. Okay. So what we're doing here is we noticed that the lighting on top of these trees is not the best as it is. It's a little dark for our liking. So what we're doing is we're going to place an area light, and we're going to scale that area light along the red axis so as to get a more brightly lit foliage. Okay. So when we go back now, it's lit up much better. Yeah, that's good. What are we going into next, Prithvi? Yeah. So we have this sort of a room here. There's no furniture. There's no material supplied anywhere. What we'll do is we'll show you what you can do with the object library. Let's go into the sofas category from the objects. Let's place a few of these things. Yeah. It's too dark. Why is it too dark? No light. Oh, there's no lighting in here. Okay. Should I place one here as well? No. Well, we'll place a couple of more chairs on either side. Just small ones. These ones are fine. Once again, guys, you can bring in your own 3D models as well. Here we're just using some things from the library, but can we make a model into it rather than importing it? Okay, so not quite. You can't do modeling in the software. It's a visualization software. You will have to create your model in SketchUp or Revit and then import it in. Let's should we show them some of those generative AI features?
Yeah, we can. Just almost done here.
Or we'll save that for the next session.
Yeah.
It's 7:50 almost. We can save that for the next session as well. So let's just change up the flooring perhaps.
I'll just complete this.
Okay.
I'll quickly choose a carpet.
Sure, anything's fine. Let's do the mirror actually.
Yeah.
So we'll show you a very quick technique here to do mirrors. What you'd essentially do is we have this glass surface over here. We want this to act like a mirror. So the first thing that you do is set the color to white, completely white, so that it's as reflective as possible. And then you just crank up the metallic property all the way, and then you reduce the roughness to almost 0. Okay. So now have a reflective surface over there. Okay. We'll go into, should we go into the exporter?
Yeah, just almost.
So we've worked on the scene for about, I'd say 30 minutes now, and it's starting to sort of come together. What we'll do is in the next sessions, we'll work on it a little bit more, go over some more of the tools and options that you have, and then, complete the scene. So before we do that, we'd like to show you the types of things that you can export. Okay. So once you're done with your scene, right? Once you're done texturing, lighting it up, and so on, you can go into the exporter mode. So far, we've been in the editor mode, left top corner. If you see, we have 2 modes. We've been in the editor mode. In the exporter mode, you have an image exporter. So that's the exporter mode. Okay. You have your image exporter or the photo exporter. The next tab is the video exporter. The third tab is the 360 tours exporter mode, and the last is the generative AI exporter mode. Okay, we'll go over all of these things very briefly in this session. Maybe in the next workshop session, we can actually export out a few things as well. We have a question from Akilan. Is it possible to define the part of the mesh the texture is applied to, or is it done in the modeling stage itself? Okay. Yeah, great question. So there's a few ways that you can do this. Okay. One of the ways would definitely be to do it in the modeling stage itself, or when you're applying your materials in SketchUp, you simply separate out the different materials that you want in your scene and you apply it there. Alternatively, you can use texture masking capabilities, but it's a little bit too advanced for this workshop. We won't be going into that. Okay. So once we're here in the exporter mode, let's
we'll export a photo.
Yeah, sure. So we set up. Let's show them the camera bookmarks as well, Prithvi. So we have this thing called the camera bookmarks system. So typically in a scene, you'd want to render out multiple viewpoints, right? It's like scenes in SketchUp, if you're familiar with it. What you can do is on the top here, there's a button that says camera and a plus. That'll essentially add a new camera for you in your scene. Let's click that, and let's rename the camera to shot one, let us say. So this is shot one. Now, if you drop down, you can move around in our scene. And then at any point of time, you can just go back to your shot one. Yeah, let's go back into the exporter. Let's go to shot one. This is where we want to be exporting a shot from. Okay. So the way to add photo exports is on the bottom here, you have your reel. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll add a photo, click on add photo. There it captures a little thumbnail for you. Okay. Now that thumbnail represents what will finally be rendered. So if we move to, let's move further up, Prithvi, and let's add another shot over here. There, you click on the plus, you add another shot. So we have two shots that we have captured here. So what you can do is for shot one, for instance, let's show them the options on the right side panel that they have. Okay. So you have your sky system. Let's close all of them. You have your sky system where you can choose between your HDRI and dynamic. Now this, whatever you do in your first photo will not export your second photo or your second frame at all. Okay. So this is completely for just your first photo. Now, all of these are the different options that you can set in terms of the sky system. You can go into, let's go out of the sky system and go into the weather system. You have your weather system where you can, change up the density of the fog. You can do different types of precipitation, rain and snow and so on. And you can also do camera settings. Okay, let's go into the camera settings, Prithvi. Let's change up the focal length here. So we're using a focal length of 12. Let's make it 15 maybe. Okay, let's make it 20. Okay, so this is a much higher focal length. Okay, we can change up different things in your camera as well. Resolution, the aspect, the exposure, a lot of different options to choose from. Now, once we've done this, let's go into photo 2. And photo 2, if you see, is the other viewpoint that we have here. Let's actually change up the sky system for this. Let's use maybe an evening time of day like that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that should be good. And time of day will increase it slightly so as to get a more evening-ish feel. Yeah. Or morning. Morning is also fine. Cool, yeah. Yeah, so now if you capture this, if you go still preserved, and if you go into your second photo, all of these settings are preserved. Okay, so if you want to do night shots, if you want to do shots with different sorts of settings, different camera settings, all of that is very easily possible. We also have these post-processing settings, preset filters that you can use, and tints as well. Let's choose some of these tints here. These are very much like Instagram style tints, or they call tints on Instagram? Filters. There we go. So you can adjust how intense you want your tinting to be as well. These just let you set different moods for your renders. Okay, so anyone is fine. Just pick one. Yeah, and once you're done with all of these things, what you do is you click on the left bottom corner there. You see the big export button. You can click on that button, and then it'll give you a bunch of different options. Where do you want to export out this photo? You can choose any location on your computer. That's fine. The format is JPEG here. The sample count, let's make it 32 maybe. So the sample count is going to define how clear your image render is going to turn out. Okay, and that's it. We'll leave all of those as is and export it out. It should take a few seconds to export this out. Okay. So it's pretty quick. Okay, so there, it's done exporting it out. We've exported a full HD image. You can go all the way up to 4K.
Yeah.
You can export a 4K image if you want. In this case, we've just exported out a full HD. Okay, full HD is 1920 by 1080. So there it is. Very quickly, you've gone from an untextured, unlit scene to something that is starting to look beautiful. Okay, so that was the photo exporter. I think in the next session we can cover the video exporter. We can go into the generative AI. Generative AI is a really cool feature. You can bring in your 3D model just with a text prompt, go to a completely rendered output. Okay, so
Rohan, maybe we can show them the Gen AI very quickly.
oh yeah, cool.
And
Let's
a
do that.
360 exporter also with a templated model, just so it's really quick, but they know what they'll be getting.
Fantastic. Let's do that. Okay.
And show them the Gen AI.
Yeah, let's show them the Gen AI.
Just a minute. Let me quickly
Import it, yeah.
fresh one.
No, not this. Let's import that file.fb export. Do you know where that model is?
I forgot.
Okay, to show you guys the generative AI, right? I'm just going to import a different 3D model here because this one we've already textured and it's already looking pretty good. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to go in here. It's a simple living room, as you can see. Okay, what I'll do is I'll quickly add a light. I'm just going to add a point light right in the center, and I'm going to just move it all the way up over here. Okay, this is just to light up the scene somewhat so we can see what it is that we are going to be generating. Now I'll just add shot 2 is going to be my camera here. So we have what is called a positive prompt and a negative prompt. Okay, a positive prompt is what you want to see in your generative AI render, and the negative prompt is something that you don't want. So what I'll do is let me just set up my angle first of all. So this angle is fine for me. It's a simple living room. So what I'm going to do is in my positive prompt, I'm going to just say I don't know if you're able to see this clearly, but I've typed in Bohemian themed living room. Okay. And I'm going to hit the generate button. Oh, okay.
While we're generating, if you guys have any inputs, we can probably take a couple of inputs too. So just type in the comment section if you want to see a certain kind of theme or a look.
So one way to generate it is with a text prompt like this, but you can also use a reference image. Okay. So if you have, let's just find something here. We'll just download something off of Google. Do we have that image here? So what I'll do is I'll quickly go into Google and download a reference image. Okay.
This time, this one's better.
This one? Something colorful. Okay. So this looks pretty good. Okay. I want this. So what I'll do is let me just Oh, this was a web piece. Let's get. Yeah, let's just get a JPEG, Prithvi. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so this was the Bohemian themed living room that we got. Let me just hit that again. So usually the first generation takes a little bit of time. The second generation is much faster, okay? So what we did was the first time around, I hadn't enabled the render distance correctly. So let me just quickly show you what the render distance does. So you see that plane over here? That is the extent to which the AI is going to consider your scene. Okay, so I'll just make sure that I have it covering my scene completely. So the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to change Bohemian to Scandinavian. Okay, and I'll hit the generate button, and very quickly it'll generate the same room in a Scandinavian theme. So it's a very quick way of generating renders of your 3D models in different styles. Okay. And the second thing we'll just get ready for this is the reference image that we were talking about. So we downloaded this image, right? So what we'll do is we're going to open this image up. Okay, there we go. That's the Scandinavian themed room. Can we just download a JPEG with me? I don't think that's coming in. It was not a JPEG to begin with. This is a JPEG. So I've just got a different room over here, okay? So let's just set this back. And then I don't have to specify the theme here anymore. So I'll remove the Scandinavian theme there. I'm just going to say living room because the reference image now is going to act as our theme, okay? So I'll hit the generate button. So what this does is it takes the aesthetic style references from your reference image and it's going to apply it onto your 3D model right here. Okay, so there we have it. What it's done is it's taken the yellow pillows from the reference image. If you can see, it's taken the wooden flooring, it's taken the blue walls, and it sort of applied that onto our 3D model here. Okay, so this was the view that we had, and this is what it has rendered out for you. Next thing that we want to show you is the 360 tours exporter. Do we do an export right here? Let's do it. Or do we just open up a template scene? Just save this, Prithvi, and let's open up the office template. So to show you the 360 tours exporter, we're just going to open up a new project here. It's one of the templates. You get these templates along with the product. So as soon as you open it up, you can just open up one of these preset templates just to play around with the scene and sort of get a feel for the application. Okay. So this is a different scene that we have here. It's a template like I told you guys. What I'll do is I'll quickly go into my exporter, the 360 tours mode, and I'm going to add a walk. Okay, so you can add as many walks as you want. The way to add a walk is you just click on different areas in your on your floor where you want these hotspots to be. I've just added 4 here. You can add how many ever you like. Okay, and then we say export, right? So I'm going to call this project Office Space NASA, and from all of these different hotspots, it's going to render out 360 panoramic images, and it's going to export out a virtual 360 tour and give us a link. Okay. Now that link can be shared with anyone. You can put it up on your design portfolio, and you can share it with the world pretty much. So once it's done exporting here, it'll give us a link right here. We'll give it perhaps 20 seconds, 30 seconds more. Okay, there we go. It's uploading data to the cloud now. It'll all go into your account when you do this export for your own 3D models. Okay. In the meanwhile, please let us know if you have any questions, guys. We're about to wrap up the session for the day, so I'm opening up the conversation for any questions that you guys might have. Happy to answer. Okay, there we go. The 360 tour is published, so you can just click on the link over here to view it. Okay, so you click it, a browser opens up, and if you see the link here, it's Office Space NASA, the project name that we have just given it. Okay. Okay. So the my internet's slightly slow, but it should be usually much faster than this. So this is a link that you can share with anyone, and it's completely on web. You can from your mobile phone as well, and you just click to move. These were the hotspots that we exported out, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now there's also some great features here on this web platform. There's multiplayer, so you can send this to your clients, to your to other stakeholders in a project, and they can log into this space as well, simultaneously explore it together. You can enable a chat. You can leave comments on this, and so on. We'll show you some of these. We'll go into all of these features as we go along in perhaps the next workshop or so. If there's any questions at all, I'd love to answer them. Otherwise, I think that's all the material we have for you today, guys. Okay, Alia Hassan, how to install this software? Great question, Alia. This is the first thing that we should when we started the workshop. So let me just go over this again. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll go to renderpub.com. Okay, and this page opens up. You can just go over the website if you like, or if you're in a hurry, just click the download button on this header right here. Okay, and then it shows you this page. You can download the community edition, and once you download it, just for participants of the LIK Trophy, what we're doing is we are upgrading your version of Renderpub Studio to Pro for free. Okay, so you just download the software, and then once you download it, it'll ask you to create an account. You create an account, and you let us know the email that you used to create the account, and we'll enable the Pro features for you. Okay, so you'll have access to the Pro version free of cost. You simply have to download it and let us know your email account that you used to download it. That's how you download the software, guys. What we'll do is we'll perhaps send out an email. I think we can send that out through Tanuja. I think she must have your emails. We can send out a short email that'll describe how exactly you can download the software. Okay. You need to make sure that you have the system requirements as well in order to run this software locally. So any computer with an NVIDIA RTX graphic card should be able to run this software. Okay, so that's the minimum system requirements. Can we use this 3D walkthrough on VR for the client? Absolutely. So the VR feature has not been enabled on this version, but absolutely you can use the 360 tour that I showed you. You'll be able to access that through a VR device as well. Tanuja, are you still with us? Any other questions, guys?
I think, yeah, there are a couple of things that are coming in. GTX graphics won't work here.
Okay, so GTX, if you have a GTX 1070 or higher, then it will work. I am just going to put that in the comment here. But a GTX series graphic card is not the recommended hardware. It is going to work, it is going to look good, but the performance might not be great. An RTX card will make sure that you have the best performance and the best visuals as well. Awesome, thank you.
Good evening, Rohan. This is Champion here.
Hello, Champion. How are you doing? Good evening.
Yeah, fine. So, to the participants, everyone here, to give a more introduction on the collaboration with the Renderpub. So, Renderpub is a rendering engine software. So, NASA India is collaborating with them exclusively for LIK Trophy in terms of creating a NASA India metaverse. So, in the recently happened first general body meeting, we have announced the initiative of creating a NASA India metaverse, where it's an online space where the students can get to display works. So this with this current edition of LIK Trophy, the winning entry models shall be put on in the online NASA India metaverse. So this was a great session to begin with. So we are looking for more content on how to create, on how to publish the experience as well. So those who are participating in LIK Trophy in the submission guidelines. So if you look carefully, we have added the requirement of detailed 3D model as well. So I hope you have started your documentation process. So with the addition of 3D model, we have been seeing great 3D models in the past years. So on continuation of that, make good 3D model so that you are. It's basically to create digital twin of Indian heritage and to show it to anyone in the world. So and basically, Renderpub is the technology partner here. So thank you once again. It was a good workshop. We'll release the schedule for the next sessions as well. And yes, anything else, Rohan?
That's all from us, champion. At least for now, we hope to see you all in perhaps the next session of this workshop.
Yes.
It was very well explained, Rohan. I think people would start taking interest for sure because of how convenient and easy the interface is. So hopefully, with the LIK entries, I mean the winning entries this year, maybe we could do something more solid, and then people will have a better look by then.
Awesome. Sounds great. Sounds great, guys. Really excited for the trophy. Really excited to see what sorts of models you guys come up with. What sorts of designs that you guys choose for your entries. Exciting times. I'm really looking forward to it.
And also, we look forward for the next session.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys.
Okay, then I think we can wrap this up unless you have anything else to put out.
That's it from us, guys. Thanks a lot for having us here. Cheers. Good evening. See you. Bye bye.
See you, Rohan. Good having you here. Thank you, guys. I hope the workshop was helpful and it made you understand the interface of Renderpub. Also, thank you, the winners, Z214, for presenting and, of course, answering all the questions. Yes, I think we can end it for the day. Have a good day, all of you.